Welcome, friends. It is Thursday, May 28th. Welcome back to the Forever Better podcast. We're in episode 12. Um, now that The Last Dance is over, it's like we don't really have anything to watch. But that was up until last night or yesterday, because I think the Epstein documentary dropped yesterday on Netflix. Um, I was kind of excited about this documentary, because look, I didn't really know who Epstein was up until a couple months ago when that news came out that he died in prison, and there was all those conspiracy theories. Well, there is all those conspiracy theories about his death. So I was excited about this one. Now, I'm only 2 episodes deep. It's a 4-part documentary. I'm only 2 episodes deep. So it's kind of go all I've seen is like a little bit of his history, who he was, how all of this came about. And it was fascinating to me because I knew he had that billionaire status, but obviously I had no idea who he was. So it's interesting to see where he's come from. Um, and look, first thing off the bat, after the first episode, it's like I saw a lot of similarities in regards to the R. Kelly documentary, Surviving R. Kelly. Obviously, because R. Kelly was it was all about underage girls, and Epstein's basically the same thing. It's all about underage girls. Um, the funny thing, well, it does get tough watching these documentaries when it's involves like kids, younger, people that aren't adults. It's always tougher to watch those ones because it's like when you see that type of shit happen, then you start to think to yourself and you start to question like how the fuck are there people like this in the world that would actually go out there and do something like this to people, well, to people in general, let alone people who aren't even adults. Um, and yeah, I'd say I saw a lot of similarities in terms of like how the girls were seduced, how these young girls were seduced. Obviously Epstein being a powerful figure and having those connections. He knew Donald Trump. He was flying in jets with Bill Clinton, things like that. So obviously knowing that, it's like he kind of used his power. It's just another person that abused their power, I guess you can say. Kind of like how R. Kelly was at the top of the game, the R&B game. So he was trying to help people. Well, he was saying he wanted to help people that wanted to become singers, but really he was just trying to start a relationship with them. And then you can say the same thing about Epstein. Like he was using his power because he knew people in high places. He was trying to finding people that he would say like he can further their career, and then take advantage of them that way. And the crazy thing was like Epstein's girlfriend, I think her name was Ghislaine or something like that. Um, she was kind of like the talent scout, the scout for Epstein. She was the one that would be out and about and finding girls and bringing them back to their house. They'd walk up the staircase and there was Epstein naked on the bed, and you'd get them to give him a massage, and then he'd slowly seduce them, make them take their clothes off, and then go from there, and then give them like $200. And then after that he would tell that one girl to try bring some of her friends. So next thing you know, that one girl is bringing another 40, 50 girls. And obviously those young girls being naive and not knowing and what's going on and being scared, they would go ahead and do that. So they were saying that it's kind of like a pyramid scheme. They get one girl, they get that girl to refer some other people, they get those girls to refer other people, and he just kind of like branches out from there. um, but yeah, I'm like I said, I'm 2 episodes deep in. Still got to watch the other 2 episodes, and I really wanted to go into the whole conspiracy about his death. That's the thing that I find quite fascinating. I do love my conspiracy theories, even though I don't like looking into them myself. I don't want to go deep down the rabbit hole because I feel like it kind of mind fucks you a little bit, and then you don't know what to believe. And the crazy thing with the internet, it's like you can search whatever you want, and you'll probably find something, relating to whatever it is you search for. You know, you, yeah, you just I don't know. You search for a picture of yourself naked, you'll probably find something like a picture of yourself naked, even if it's just a photoshopped one. Yeah, so that's why I don't like looking into going deep down the rabbit hole online. I just I don't know. It's a crazy place out there, man. That's what they call it, the dark web. You know what I'm saying? Um, so other than that, I mean, we're just back here creating content, I guess you could say. And with this whole situation, obviously, like I said on Monday, there's still no word in regards to when gyms are going to open. Um, and so obviously they originally announced it in stage two, but I feel like we're approaching stage two next week with all the beauty salons opening. But there's just still, they've just said that there's no time frame on gyms. So with that being said, it's just really making me think about, my career, like, because I've had these thoughts before, and then, if that the fitness industry is like the right place to be, and obviously with everything going on, and you know, uh, the fitness industry, like doing PT and everything like that, it was never the most stable job, and obviously after all of this, it's obviously I always thought that, well, you start to think that everything can be taken away from you so quickly, and with all this, it's feel like I'm gonna be out of work for a little while. It's already been like what, 2 months, and I feel like by the time gyms open, it's probably gonna be 2.5 to 3 months. So it's really making me think, and obviously all this creating content is a thing that I love, and people are really starting to see the benefits of content creation. People are starting to put more value in content creation. Hence why Spotify, made that deal with Joe Rogan as well. I think a lot of people are really starting to see the value in content creation. And I know when you look for even jobs in the fitness industry, they put a lot of things in their advertisements saying, must be comfortable with Instagram, must be social media savvy, comfortable, doing Facebook Lives. And for a couple, well, not for a couple of years, but for at least a good year now, it's like, that's the stuff that I was always doing with when I was working at a gym. So, I always kind of saw the value in that. And even now, much more while I'm doing all of this, it's, I'm realizing that it's definitely something that I really, really like to do. And it's something that ideally I'd like to focus all of my time into. And obviously that's going to be tough because it's not like I'm making money out of it. And starting the podcast, like the goal was never to make money. The goal was just to do something I love. Obviously podcasting was something that I always wanted to do because when I come home from work, it's already 8:30, 9 p.m. All I do is that I watch like a podcast or two, and I go to sleep, wake up, go back to work, do it all over again. So that's like I don't really watch any other TV or anything like that. And like now that we're in lockdown, is the only time that I've ever really watched a lot of TV. But yeah, it's really making me think that this is really what I want to do. But like I said, obviously I can't focus on it full time because I do need to make a living. But even with all the feedback that I've gotten, man, all the feedback is just being so positive. Um, that it's really making me feel like this is the way to go for me. It's not, instead of me putting fitness first, like the whole career in fitness first. It's like I really want to put this first, and it's making me, I'm hoping that when I go back to work, obviously, working long hours and everything like that, it's going to be tough to continue to film these, especially say because I normally like to do my filming at like say 10 a.m., 10:30. Obviously, if I'm at work, then if I've only got like early mornings or late nights, it's how is it going to work? And even though I'm telling myself like I've got to continue to do this, I guess we all fall victim to that kind of like trap. We slip into our old habits, and my old habit was to, wake up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, watch a podcast or two. So even though I'm telling myself that I have to find time to continue to do these podcasts, when it comes down to it, it does get tough. When it comes down to it, and you've got all those other things on your plate, it does get tough. So, I think because I love it so much, I am going to find a way, even if that means that I'm going to, have to film late at night and then upload it, have it upload by the next morning rather than doing the same day filming, or filming, recording, and uploads. But look, I'm determined, man. I do want to find a way to continue to do this because I love it. And I know there's people out there that are enjoying it as well. And, I am receiving the messages and everything like that as well. And that's one of the other things I wanted to talk about as well. And I know I kind of touched about it. But in terms of, people supporting you, people hating on you, or people doubting you and everything like that. Because I feel like, with people put so much value and emphasis into their social media pages, right? And you could receive like 50 good comments. Like, I'm just going to use my podcast as an example. But say I put a podcast out and I get like 50 messages saying, like, great job, I love it and everything like that. Then all of a sudden I get one message like, there's someone on, saying that, oh, that was a piece of shit, that was shit, you shouldn't be doing this or something, or you need to try harder. A lot of the time with people, it's like they'll put so much emphasis into that one negative comment, and it's almost like to say that one negative comment will outweigh the 50 positive comments. And then people slip into this thing where they just start to, fear will start to overcome them. And all of a sudden, because they received that one good comment, a bad comment, sorry, they forgot about the 50 good ones. And then they just get this, sense of fear that, oh, because this one person didn't like it, that's what I feel like everybody else is going to think. You know what I mean? Like, just because one person didn't like it, it's like they don't want to promote that podcast anymore because they feel like everybody else is going to hate it, even though 50 people just told you they love it. They go outside, and there could be a group of people that laugh, and then while they're laughing, they'll look over at you. Then all of a sudden, in your head, it's like, oh, maybe they're talking about my podcast. They saw it as well, and they fucking hate it. And I think people forget that social media, it's just not real. It's not an accurate representation of your life. It's not an accurate representation of other people's life. People that have their social media pages and they look like the happiest family ever, and that's what they want you to see. They don't want you to see all the hard times and everything. So social media, it's just, you just have to remind yourself that social media is not real. So don't put too much emphasis on it. Don't put too much value on it. And really, really try and focus on the positives. And I know it's just easier said than done. But just always try and focus. Like, at the end of the day, look, don't even read the comments if that's what you're worried about. Focus on putting stuff out there that you love and that you enjoy. And as long as you say, if you put something out there and you're proud of it, you love it, and then just that should be more than enough for you, to be happy and for you to keep going with whatever it is that you're doing. And like, even, yeah, I just feel like people just need to realize that, because at the end of the day, like, with everything that I'm doing, like, because I love it so much, it's like I'm definitely not stopping. I didn't do this for any monetary gain or anything like that. I did it because I genuinely love creating content. And even back when I was running group fitness classes, the thing that I loved the most about running group fitness classes was the 5 minutes before class started, and I would have to do my little speech, like my little class description, pump everybody up and everything. It's just like, that's the part that I loved the most. It wasn't showing people how to do exercise or anything like that. It was always that little 5-minute class description. And that's the weird thing. It was like the thing that I loved the most was just being there and talking, and that's what I feel like that's basically what I want to do in terms of my career now. And look, obviously this is just me thinking out loud and everything like that. But I'm hoping that when I vocalize all of these thoughts, it's just that there's some people out there that will find some type of inspiration, or be able to relate in their own way. But yeah, that's the thing, man. I feel like this is what I want to do. How that's gonna plan out, I'm not too sure yet. But at the end of the day, I'm enjoying the journey, I guess you can say. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the journey, and hopefully, oh well, yeah, I feel like I'm definitely just going to continue with all of this. And at the end of it all, like with everybody that's kind of giving me those positive comments and everything like that, it's at the end of the day, I just want everyone to know it's like it doesn't go unnoticed. And then hopefully, one day when this becomes something, big and everything like that, or bigger, um, I'll show everybody my appreciation, my gratitude to the positive words that they've sent my way. Um, and I feel like it's always important to have, like, those people in your life that really do believe in you. Because I know my best friend, like, for a while now, maybe even for years now, she's always told me, like, I shouldn't just be in the fitness industry. Like, I'm capable of doing much more. And then even when she found out I was doing the podcast, it was, she was, just telling me, like, make sure I just stick to it. Because, there's a lot of the times I find something I love and I just get bored and I stop doing it. So she was just encouraging me to stick to it, because she knows that I do enjoy just talking, I guess. But I feel like it's good to have people like that around, ones that always kind of like push you to be better. Because there's always a lot of people that will try and bring you down, and a lot of the time, the people that are like, giving you hate are the people that wouldn't even have the balls to do what you do. I remember, there was, I used to make a lot of videos for a particular gym, like when I was working at a particular gym, and then there was someone else, like, from a different gym that was kind of hating on it. And then when I had a chance to speak to that person, she told me, like, she likes the videos, but it's just that she would never do anything like that. She's not comfortable being on camera or anything like that. And that's just the type of thing, it's like they hate on it, and it's only but at the same time, they just wouldn't have the balls to do what you do. So yeah, don't listen to all. If you do get any negative comments about what you're doing, but you're happy with what you're doing, like, definitely don't listen to them. Only have a select group of people in your life that you would, only have a select people in your life that you would actually listen to. And that's the other thing, like, caring too much about what other people think is basically useless, just because a lot of people don't even know what they think about themselves. So yeah, just don't listen to other people, man. If you're happy with what you're doing in life, just continue. And I'm just going to continue pumping out these podcasts for you guys, man, because I'm having a lot of fun. But like I said, I know I go off on tangents all the time, but like I said, I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe like a career in the entertainment industry is what I was meant to do. And I've kind of had, like, joked around it before, like, I should be in the entertainment industry, but I just love creating content. And it's somebody just better tell Spotify to write me that, get that $100 million check ready, because I'm coming for that Joe Rogan status. And I mean, I feel like I can do some entertainment stuff, maybe do some acting as well, because I mean, I can just picture myself, like, imagine if the director was like, ready and action, and I'll just jump into a character like, good morning, ma'am, sir. I want to go to Jollibee and have some spaghetti for breakfast. I don't want to eat too many sweets because I might get diabetes. And then, the director will tell me to go into a different character. And then, I can go into something like, where the fuck do you get off? You bloody muppet. You fucking cheeky bugger. How dare you not invite me inside? And then, that's just the type of shit that I can do. And I'm saying, then, Spotify, they just need to, eventually they'll just recognize my talent, man. Eventually Spotify will just recognize my talent. And that's the thing, I can go into, like, I can, like, switch it up in terms of races. I can go into different races. And, just kind of like what Eddie Murphy did back in the day with his Nutty Professor. He played different characters. I can do that. But he was just a African American the whole movie. I could go into all those different races. And the only other person that was able to, change race was Michael Jackson, right? Because he started off as African American male, when he turned into a Caucasian, and then, by the time in his final years, he was like an alien almost. That's how, that's what he was doing. But I say that with all due respect, man. Rest in peace, King of Pop. But speaking of races as well, actually, the other thing I wanted to talk about was there was a little bit of a talk about Khloe Kardashian, right? So Khloe Kardashian uploaded a photo on her Instagram, and people were like saying, she looks real different. Is she going chocolate face in that? And the thing with Khloe Kardashian's photo is, I think she looks good, but I also think that she finally looks like a Kardashian, if you know what I mean. Because let's be honest, like Khloe Kardashian, she was kind of like the odd one out, right? Out of Kim and Courtney, Khloe Kardashian was like the odd one out, and Kim and Courtney would be doing the bikini photo shoots, right? And then you'd have Khloe just off in the distance. So Kim and Courtney would have like, they get like 100 photos taken, and they'd be like, Khloe, you watch from a distance. You sit over there in the corner. You watch from a distance, and you hand me my towel when I say I want my towel. And then, after they do their 100 photos, they get Khloe to come in and be like, oh, we might as well get her involved. She's a sister, so we get her involved, and then she joined in too. But she was always the odd one out. It was like, that's why they were saying, like, is Khloe the, actually the daughter of O.J. Simpson and Kris Jenner? Because she was just the odd one out, man. She didn't look like the rest. And look, I mean, now she looks good, but she just didn't look like the rest before. So, look, the Kardashians have the best doctors, obviously. So, did she just finally get some work done to look like the rest? Maybe, but all I'm trying to say is she doesn't look the same. She looks different, but she looks good. I mean, I don't know how much Photoshop went into that photo that she put up online, but look, man, she looks good, and I guess it kind of goes on with what I was saying um, in my previous episode on Monday. With that Japanese or Chinese man that married that lady that had all that work done, and then her partner didn't know, and then when they had the kids, the kids, he thought something doesn't look right, and it turns out, she had all that work done. So at the end of it all, it's going to be the same. Um, but I guess the difference with Chloe is that everyone knows what she used to look like because of that reality show and being so famous and all. But yeah, man, what do you want to? What can I say? She finally looks like a Kardashian, so good for her. Um, yeah, but look, like I was saying, man, there's a lot of value in content creation now, um, and it's obviously evident in terms of the deal that Spotify gave to Joe Rogan, and the positive thing about that deal is it gives content creators as well as podcasts. I guess you'll group into that kind of like another platform, because prior to that deal, it was only really YouTube that would do like the videos, and now Spotify is kind of like changing their platform to host videos, because obviously come 1st of September, the JRE backlog will be on Spotify, and come 1st of January next year, 2021, it's going to be exclusive to Spotify. So obviously Spotify sees the value in these content creators, but also it gives content creators another platform to host all of their content on. Because obviously with YouTube and everything like that being a monopoly, it's like they just had control. So obviously they demonetize a lot of videos, things that they didn't agree with. So usually if you talk about the Rona, if you swear a lot, even talking about, it's like even conspiracy theories possibly, they would demonetize your videos. And the thing was, there was absolutely nothing you can do about it. So all of a sudden, say you're making a couple grand a video, they decide to stop all of that. Now you're making nothing, and it's like, what can you do about it? Like, absolutely nothing, because YouTube just controls the whole game. And that's the thing. So now, obviously, with Spotify coming on board, it sees the value in podcasts. It sees where the industry is heading, and they've decided to invest in that. And I think once it was announced that JRE signed with Spotify, the company rose like an extra $5 billion in value over 48 hours. So I think the reports were they were saying that Joe Rogan made just more than 100 million. Um, Obviously, I'm gonna say it has to be more. I feel like it had to be at least 150 million. Because if you look at things, Joe Rogan made 30 million off of his podcast last year. And the thing is, Joe Rogan's only getting bigger, so his podcast is only getting bigger. Even over the past 2 weeks, he's had Elon Musk and Kevin Hart on his podcast. Like he has, the who's who. So his podcast is only getting bigger. So say he made 30 million last year, and say he's gonna make the same every year. So for his 3 year deal, that's already 90 million. So if he made 100 million, when he could have made he would have made 90 million on his own. Like normally, if you're he didn't really sell it his podcast, but if you're licensing your podcast or any type of business transaction, you'd at least try and double what you're gonna make. So I mean, I definitely don't think he made 100 million. I would have said I would have think it would be 150 minimum, but it might have been even more. I mean, once he goes exclusive to Spotify, I'm sure they've got some type of stats, and they can see how many more downloads the Spotify app is getting and everything, and he'll probably get a commission or a bonus based on that. So, I mean, got a good feeling that if it's a 3 year deal, he'll probably make a good 250 to 300 million at least. Which is crazy. But that's it, man. We're in this content creation type of industry, and that's where the industry is heading. So it's definitely exciting, and the fact that I'm kind of getting into it kind of excites me as well. Like I said, man, it's not about the money. It's about putting out content, doing something that I love, at the same time putting something positive out there in the world. Putting a smile on other people's faces. Just doing something positive, man. Doing something that I love, just doing something positive. And if I make $0 out of this, like I still wouldn't. It wouldn't really bother me. It wouldn't bother me, because I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying learning, and I'm enjoying the positive feedback that I've been getting out of this. And yeah, I'm just enjoying growing. But as always, man, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Or I'm gonna wrap it up there. Then, as always, I appreciate your support and all the love that you show me. Hope you're all safe, and I'll see you guys later.